Hey guys, this is SJ Football 16 and today I'll be revealing my predictions for Week 17 of the Barclays Premier League 2015-16 season. I'm going to start with a game between Chelsea and Sunderland. Chelsea have recently sacked Mourinho and Sunderland, they're currently in the relegation zone fighting for survival. I think the score in this is going to be 3-1 to Chelsea. This is because Sunderland, they're currently in the relegation zone and I cannot see them getting a win away to Chelsea, as Bournemouth have been doing quite recently. And also, Mourinho, Chelsea didn't play that well under Mourinho, and I think they could play better without him. And if they bring in a new manager by that point, so I think it's going to be 3-1 to Chelsea. The scorers are going to be Nemanja Matic, Francesc Fabregas, and John Obi Mikel for Chelsea. And I think it's going to be Ricky Van Aanholt for Sunderland. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Everton and Leicester City. Leicester are currently top of the league at the moment, and Everton are currently fighting for a Europa League place this season. I think the score in this is going to be really tight. Although Leicester are top of the league, they haven't played that many good teams this season, apart from Arsenal, which you saw was a 5-2 win for them, and Manchester United, it was a draw. So I think it's going to be 2-2 in this game, and I think the score is going to be Ross Barkley and Seamus Coleman for Everton, and for Leicester, I think it's going to be Fuchs and Danny Simpson. I don't think Vardy's going to score this time because, as you see with all strikers, their form goes down after a while. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Manchester United and Norwich City. Manchester United are currently in the top four, and Norwich City are fighting for survival as well as Sunderland. I think the score in this is going to be, I have no doubt, it's going to be 3-0 to Manchester United. Their squad is much stronger in terms of ability, and and they're in a much stronger position at the moment, and their form is much better than Norwich's this season. Although Norwich have done well against the big teams this season, I don't think they can execute it away to Manchester United. So I think it's going to be 3-0. Scorers are going to be Wayne Rooney with two for Manchester United, and Martial is going to have a goal as well, coming back from injury. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Southampton and Tottenham Hotspur. I think this is really tight because the form isn't that much different between the two clubs. So I think it's going to be. I think Southampton are going to end up edging it in the end because Tottenham, although their form has been really good this season, I don't think they'll be able to get a point against Southampton because Southampton have also played quite well this season, and it will commonly occur against the bigger teams where I think they'll do worse. Tottenham. So I think the scorers are going to be Jay Rodriguez is going to have two for Southampton, and I think Harry Kane is going to up his form with a goal for Tottenham. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Stoke City and Crystal Palace. I think the score is actually, you may be surprised by this, but I'm going to say 3-0 to Stoke. It's because Jack Butland is in really good form at the moment, and I could see him keeping another clean sheet. And also, Stoke, they've done well against a lot of good teams this season. You saw them execute against Manchester City, and I cannot see why they cannot do it against Crystal Palace. They haven't played that well against the big teams, apart from Man United, in all fairness. And I don't think they'll be able to do it on the day. So I think it's going to be 3-0. The scorers are going to be Eric Peters with two, and Bojan is going to score the other one. Now I'm going to head over to the game between West Bromwich Albion and Bournemouth. I think the score in this is going to be 2-1 to West Brom. Both teams are quite similar in terms of ability, but West Brom, they're currently higher in the league and they've done better against the big teams. Although you saw Bournemouth beat Manchester United, we've seen West Brom do well against a few of the big teams. You saw them get a point against Tottenham. We saw them get a win against Arsenal, so I cannot see why they can't get a win against Bournemouth. So I think the scorers are going to be Craig Dawson with 2 for West Brom, and I think super striker Glenn Murray is going to score for Bournemouth. Now I'm going to head over to the late game kickoff between Newcastle United and Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they've played really bad this season, so I think, and Newcastle, they played really well recently, so I'm going to say the score is going to be 3-0 to Newcastle. And I think the score is going to be Cheek Tiote, Chancel Mbemba, and Stephen Taylor for Newcastle United. It's because I think their substitutes are really strong this season, Newcastle at the moment, and I don't think they won't be able to make an immediate impact in the first half, and I think they'll be able to save their weaker players until the second half, and I think they could play really well that game. And also, Aston Villa, they haven't played that well, so I can't see them doing well at all against Newcastle. Now I'm going to head over to the game between Watford and Liverpool, the Sunday kickoff. I think the score in this is actually going to be 0-0 because we've seen Watford play really well this season, and Liverpool, they haven't played that well in their last couple of games because we saw them draw against West Brom, I think, and also they lost against Newcastle. So I can't see how they're going to do that much better against Watford. So I'm going to say it's going to be a 0-0 draw. They're playing pretty much the same in terms of ability, so that's why I'm saying that. Now I'm going to head over to the other Sunday kickoff between Swansea City and West Ham United. Swansea recently got rid of Gary Monk, as I discussed in the last episode, and West Ham they've had quite a decent season this season, and that although their squad has been playing really well, I think Swansea could end up being on form without their manager, because we actually saw them do quite well against Manchester City last week, and I can't see why they can't make an improvement because they were quite unlucky in all fairness in that game. So I think it's going to be 2-0 to Swansea, and I think the scorers are going to be Jack Cork. We saw him play last game and he played quite well, and Ki Sung Young for, and those are both the goals for Swansea. Now, finally, this is probably the biggest game so far this season: Arsenal v Manchester City on Monday. I think the score in this is going to be a really tight game, as we know this season. Both teams are striving for the Barclays Premier League title. I think the score is going to be 3-2 to Arsenal, I'm saying. Although Man City have played really well this season, I'm saying that Arsenal are going to win. This is because their players, I feel their squad in a whole is just better than Manchester City's. And Alexis Sanchez is expected to come back from injury really soon and is expected to play against Manchester City. Also, they're higher in the league, and the league tables don't really lie, in all fairness. I think it just reflects on how the teams are playing. So I think it's going to be 3-2. The scorers are going to be Alexis Sanchez and Mesut Ozil with 2 for Arsenal. And for Manchester City, I think it's going to be Sergio Aguero, and I actually think Samir Nasri could come on as a sub and haunt Arsenal. That's all from me for today. Don't forget to like this video if you haven't done so already. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to this channel. And don't forget to comment on any changes you think should be made to this video. I'll see you guys next time.